Hey guys, PIEGUYRULZ here, and forgive the potato quality here. I'm not at my usual setup. But yeah, some pretty big news happened, and I feel like people would be confused or, posting a lot of comments asking for my opinion if I didn't comment on this. It's a pretty big deal, and so here we go. Let's jump into it. Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon have parted ways. Apparently, Schneider got a $7 million buyout, but his shows, both of his current running shows, got canceled. Henry Danger's getting one more season, and then it's ending after that, and Game Shakers is ending after 3 seasons. So, yeah, first things first, I have to address something that's on a lot of people's minds and is likely a big part of this. Dan has been over the years on the internet, there have been a lot of allegations about him being inappropriate with, underage stars of his shows, and a lot of people think this is why he's leaving Nickelodeon, or basically why he was fired. Nickelodeon said that it was parting of ways, and they want to take a new creative direction for their network, but I'll be honest here, I don't buy that. Just because Nickelodeon would milk like the Schneider's Bakery for like 10 more shows if they could. It's not like Henry Danger or Game Shakers were really not popular because they are. And it's not like, I don't know. I feel like Nickelodeon's not really one to change too much. It's entirely possible that they do genuinely want a new direction, especially after, Butch Hartman, the other really kind of like long mainstay of the network, left too. So it's possible, but I don't entirely buy it. And a lot of people are citing that the reason is just because of these allegations of this shadiness. And I've looked around on the internet, and it's honestly a little difficult to gauge kind of what's going on with Schneider because there's a lot of jokes that have been made about him, just period. Because if you look at the guy, and I mean no disrespect, if you look at him, he kind of fits that really schlubby, weird looking guy that kind of has an inappropriate look towards towards his stars. And he works with younger children on Nickelodeon for years, and with all the stuff that's coming out about other producers and other people in the industry, it's a very easy connection or an easy joke to make to say, oh yeah, Dan Schneider's doing all this stuff. Um, but that being said, joke aside, there does seem to be some at least sketchiness to this guy. Even in the report, it mentions his anger issues, which is something I didn't know about, but doesn't really surprise me too much. There's also the fact that he does feature feet, naked feet, a lot in his works. Something which I initially thought, like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, people are probably blowing that out of proportion. But no, if you line it all up, there's a lot of naked feet on his shows. And, there is also a decent amount of inappropriate jokes, which can be written off, but like that plus the feet thing, there's definitely some sketchiness going on. I don't want to come out and say like, yeah, man, the dude's guilty of all this horrible stuff because I genuinely don't know, and it's also not something that I'm equipped or know how to talk about. So I just want to address this so it doesn't seem like I'm sweeping it under the rug. That there's a very big possibility that there is some really disgusting horribleness to this ordeal, and this could be the reason. And if there is this horribleness, it will likely come out in the near future. And I mean, it would be awful, like beyond awful. And I don't know how I'd feel about doing Bottom of the Bakery anymore. That's something that I kind of wanted feedback from you guys of. As far as right now, while things are still, well, as far as we know right now, this is just they fired him or he quit, or however they want to put it, for unknown reasons. Even though there's suspicions out there, I don't feel like that enough is enough for me to cancel the SETI arc or to stop doing the reviews right now. But should some stuff come out in the future, I don't really know how comfortable I would feel continuing to make my silly comedy videos if there was some real tragedy underneath all of this. And I also feel like, you know, potentially if I was doing different kinds of videos, I could actually talk about this and talk about how I mean there's the SETI arc's about romance, and it definitely seems like whoever was working on this arc just doesn't quite understand romance. and has a really kind of skewed view, a mildly abusive view on it. But seeing as my show is by and large silly in a lot of ways, I don't feel it's appropriate to talk about, you know, that sort of subject matter on there, and I feel like it would be really disrespectful to any possible victims. But all right, so with all that addressed and out of the way, I'm not defending the man. I'm not vilifying him. For right now, I'm just saying, you know what, this dude seems pretty gross, but there's not enough information to really, for me to really talk extensively about it. And please look at the information out there yourself and come to your own conclusions. With that being said, what does this mean for Nickelodeon? This means that they're gonna have to take some risks, I guess. It's especially weird to see this happening because Nickelodeon in recent years has taken a big plunge towards live action. They've really kind of gone all in on a lot of other shows, and they had shows like the Thunderbins, which were super successful, and I don't know. I feel like, kind of like where SpongeBob stood, the Schneider's Bakery shows were the live action equivalent of it. Even, they were sometimes good, sometimes bad, but either way, they tended to draw in huge crowds and generate a large interest. And they were kind of the rock. Even if the Schneider's Bakery shows, even if, like, Sam and Cat onwards weren't these huge, huge hits for the network like Drake and Josh or iCarly was, they were still something that the network could rely on to continue to generate, to be a safe bet, basically. I mean, I definitely do want to celebrate the fact that this, for whatever reason, Nickelodeon is going to have to make some changes, and that seems like a very good thing. So let me know what you guys think about this. As for right now, the SETI arc is going to continue to come out. I'm just going to try to get it out as fast as possible, hopefully ahead of any other news. But yeah, I definitely want to know what you guys think. So with that, Pie Guy rules.